Hello and welcome back to The Life with the Browns, your #1 source for the deepest dives and most exclusive analysis of the Brown family. Today, we are not just talking about another family squabble or a passive-aggressive tweet. We are talking about a legal bombshell that could completely dismantle the Brown family empire as we know it. Forget everything you thought you knew about the slow unraveling of this family. What you're about to hear is the story of a corporate civil war, a hostile takeover, and the lawsuit that could strip Kody Brown of everything he has ever built. This is an exclusive deep dive into the legal filing that is rocking the Life with the Browns world to its core. Janelle Brown is suing to dissolve the family's LLC, and she's accusing Kody of running their finances like a dictator. It was supposed to be a partnership of equals, a corporation called Dabsark Inc., created to protect and grow their assets for all 18 children, a symbol of unity. But according to this blockbuster lawsuit, that partnership turned into a dictatorship. And now, the shareholders are staging a revolt. You guys, this is not a drill. What I have in front of me are details from a legal strategy so brilliant and so devastating, it could change the game forever. If you want to understand every shocking exhibit, every damning piece of evidence, and every insider detail from the courthouse, you need to be here with us. So hit that like button, and if you haven't already, subscribe to The Life with the Browns and turn on notifications. You're not going to want to miss a single second of this developing story. All right, let's set the stage. For years, we've all watched the painful financial unraveling. The confusion over Coyote Pass, the mystery of the paid-off homes, the black hole of my sister wife's closet, and the same lingering question, where is the money going? Christine fought to get her equity from the land when she left. Mary has stayed financially independent with her B&B and side businesses. But Janelle? She was always the pragmatist. She worked steady jobs, even lived in an RV to save money for her dream home. So what was the final straw? What pushed the most level-headed wife to drop a legal nuclear bomb on the family structure? Sources close to Brown insiders tell me it all came down to one event, the inheritance incident. Janelle's beloved mother, Cheryl, passed away in 2020, leaving Janelle a modest but life-changing inheritance. It wasn't millions, but it was enough to give her security after years of sacrifice. But in 2022, after Christine's exit, and while Janelle was living in her small apartment, Kody and Robin allegedly came to her with a business proposition. They needed money again, for taxes on Robin's massive house, and to keep my sister wife's closet alive for yet another so-called relaunch. But here's the kicker. They didn't ask to borrow it. They told her it was her duty as a shareholder in Dabsark to reinvest her inheritance into the family business. Kody reportedly told her, all assets are family assets. The audacity. After years of funneling corporate money into Robin's projects, after refusing to help Janelle build her own modest home, Kody demanded she hand over her mother's last gift to her. According to my source, Janelle's answer was ice cold. No, that will not be happening. Then she hung up the phone. A week later, she retained a lawyer. And that moment, my friends, lit the fuse. Now let's talk about the lawsuit, because Janelle's legal strategy is pure genius. This isn't a divorce filing. It isn't about alimony. This is a shareholder derivative lawsuit, one of the most devastating legal weapons in corporate law. Instead of suing for herself, Janelle is suing on behalf of Dabsark Inc. against its corrupt CEO, Kody Brown. Her claim? That his reckless leadership destroyed the company's value, violated his fiduciary duties, and left no option but to dissolve the corporation entirely. This is not a plea. It's a corporate execution, and Janelle is pulling the trigger. The suit names Kody as CEO and Robin as a de facto officer who allegedly conspired with him to bleed the company dry. Together, she claims, they turned Dabsark into their personal piggy bank while the rest of the family paid the price. From forensics, audits of Coyote Pass to the black hole of my sister wife's closet, the evidence is staggering. Overpayments, mismanagement, corporate waste, and a paper trail that could finally bring Kody's empire crashing down. But here's where it moves from bad business to legally actionable misconduct. The forensic audit uncovered that there was no formal agreement, no promissory note, no repayment plan for these massive capital infusions. This wasn't a loan. It was simply money handed over. Blank checks signed off by Kody, as CEO of Dabsark, directly into a company controlled by his wife, with no oversight and no expectation of return. Even worse, the audit trail allegedly shows Dabsark funds being used to purchase thousands of dollars in jewelry and clothing inventory. When that merchandise failed to sell, where did it go? A damning footnote in the report, citing an anonymous family source, claims that unsold My Sister Wife's Closet inventory was quietly funneled into Robyn's personal circle. Gifts to herself, her kids, her friends. In essence, the company was being used as Robyn's private shopping account. So let's add it up. $450,000 in lost value from the Coyote Pass disaster. $157,000 in corporate waste on the One House fantasy. $590,000 in mismanagement and self-dealing through My Sister Wife's Closet. Together, Dr. Thorne's report concludes, Kody Brown's reckless decisions destroyed more than $2 million in shareholder value. Why $2 million? That's not just numbers on a page. That's 4 houses that could have been built on Coyote Pass. That's college tuition for their children. That's decades of sweat equity from Janelle, Mary, and Christine. Gone. Squandered. This report is the financial smoking gun. It strips away all emotion, all excuses, and delivers a cold, mathematical indictment of Kody Brown's leadership. And it forms the backbone of Janelle's case. But Exhibit A was only half the story. Because Exhibit B, the governance failure, might be even more damning. Here's the brilliance of Janelle's legal team. They didn't just show what Kody did. They showed what he failed to do. Every corporation is bound by its bylaws, the internal rules signed by all shareholders. In Dabsark's bylaws, it was crystal clear. Any expenditure over $50,000 required a formal board meeting, a vote, and recorded minutes. It's Corporate Governance 101, the safeguard against exactly this type of abuse. So Janelle's lawyers subpoenaed the corporate records. They asked for the minutes approving the land purchase, the One House spending, and the endless cash infusions into Robyn's business. Kody's legal team sent back a single sentence. No such documents exist. That was it. No records. No meetings, no votes. In 5 years of multi-million-dollar transactions, Kody Brown never once followed the company's most basic rules. His excuse? That they were a family, not a corporation. That decisions were made informally. But the law doesn't recognize kitchen table conversations. It recognizes bylaws, contracts, fiduciary duty. And Exhibit B proved beyond doubt that Kody wasn't acting like a CEO. He was acting like a king. A dictator. He ignored the other 80% of shareholders and treated their ownership like it didn't exist. He and Robyn allegedly made decisions together, in private, and the rest of the board would only discover the truth after the money was already spent. So let's recap part 1. A personal insult that pushed Janelle to act. A brilliant derivative lawsuit strategy. Exhibit A. $2 million in provable financial destruction. Exhibit B. The shocking admission that no board meetings, no votes, no minutes ever existed. It's an airtight, devastating case. And now the stage shifts to the Maricopa County Superior Courthouse. This is where the paperwork collides with human drama. Picture the scene. Janelle at the plaintiff's table. Calm, collected. Dressed in sharp, professional pantsuits. Navy, charcoal, the look of a woman who has come to collect a debt. Beside her, her powerhouse attorney, Elena Flores, known for tearing apart corporate fraud cases with surgical precision. Across the aisle, a study in contrast. Kody, fidgeting, flushed, whispering frantically to his lawyer. Robyn, soft, fragile, tissues clutched in hand, her eyes downcast for much of the trial. The trial opens with Flores methodically laying out the case. Then she calls her first witness, Dr. Marcus Thorne, the forensic accountant. With charts and graphs projected on a large screen, Thorne dismantles Kody's financial history. He shows the inflated land deal, the fantasy mansion spending, the black hole of My Sister Wife's Closet. His testimony is calm, clinical, devastating. When Kody's lawyer tries to push back, arguing that these were family decisions, not corporate ones, Thorne delivers the knockout line. They filed as a legal corporation. With that protection comes responsibility. A CEO's first duty is to all shareholders, not just the ones he shares a house with. Boom, the judge nods. Kody's entire defense crumbles in one sentence. And then Janelle takes the stand. Brown, in the 5 years since Dabsark Inc. purchased the Coyote Pass property, were you ever invited to a formal board meeting to discuss or vote on a major financial expenditure? Janelle, no. Ms. Flores, were you ever presented with a budget for the One House project and asked to approve it? Janelle, no. I was told about it, but I was never asked. Ms. Flores, were you ever asked to vote on the continuous capital infusions, over $500,000, into the My Sister Wife's Closet entity? Janelle, no, I was told the business needed money, but it was never presented as a decision I had a say in. It was given as a necessity. And then came the fireworks, Kody's cross-examination of Janelle. His lawyer tried to paint her as a bitter wife, angry over personal issues, not business decisions. Kody's lawyer, Ms. Brown, isn't it true that your frustration is really with Mr. Brown's personal relationships, not his business choices? Janelle, calmly. My frustration is watching my life savings and my children's inheritance treated like a personal slush fund. This is not about my personal relationship with Kody. This is about his legal relationship to me as a business partner, a duty he has violated at every opportunity. Every attempt to make it personal, Janelle and her lawyer redirected back to corporate bylaws and financial facts. It was a masterclass in strategy, but then it was Kody's turn on the stand, an absolute train wreck. Arrogant, defensive, dismissive of corporate law. When asked about his management style, Kody actually said, "I'm the patriarch. I'm the leader. I can't be hamstrung by a committee when I need to act." Under oath, he admitted to ignoring the board. Then came the legendary cross by Janelle's lawyer, Ms. Flores, Mr. Brown. Can you point to a single major financial decision you've made since moving to Flagstaff that resulted in a positive return for shareholders? Kody, fumbling. It's about the future. The dream of Coyote Pass. The land's value has gone up. Ms. Flores. Yes, but it has cost the corporation hundreds of thousands and generated zero revenue. Correct? Kody. We're building a legacy. Ms. Flores. A legacy of debt, Mr. Brown. She moved on to My Sister Wife's Closet. No loan agreements, no promissory notes, no repayment guarantees. Over $500,000 funneled directly into the business of his fourth wife, with no protection for shareholders. Kody exploded. This is ridiculous. We're a family. Judge Alvarez. Answer the question, Mr. Brown. Kody mumbled, yes. It was a fatal blow. He admitted to self-dealing and breaching his fiduciary duty, under oath. But Janelle's team had a surprise witness, Kody Brown. When her name was called, Robin reportedly gasped and clutched Kody's arm. Kody walked to the stand radiant and unshaken. She had no financial stake left, only the truth. Her testimony confirmed everything. Decisions were made in Robin's house. No votes, no real board meetings, no family discussions. Kody and Robin had formed a shadow executive committee. The case was sealed. And then came Judge Alvarez's ruling, delivered directly from the bench. He declared that Dabsark LLC was irretrievably broken due to Kody's gross mismanagement and willful misconduct. Kody was stripped of all financial authority. A court-appointed receiver would seize every asset, including Coyote Pass, and liquidate them for equitable distribution. Kody erupted in purple-faced rage. Robin collapsed in uncontrollable sobs. But Janelle sat perfectly still. A single tear rolled down her cheek, not of sorrow, but of vindication. For the first time in decades, she had won. And this was more than just a trial. It was the destruction of Kody and Robin's financial empire, and the exposure of a decade-long scheme that left them powerless. So what do you think? Was this justice? Did Janelle do the right thing? And what's next for Kody and Robin now that their kingdom has been dismantled? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And thank you for watching this special report from The Life with the Browns. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Never miss an update.